love to, figure out what's next and where the industry is going and go with the flow and not necessarily force myself into a corner. The power of e-commerce is just completely mind-blowing, where I have one store and I can access the world. Said you don't have to stand on the street with a billboard and rely on the 100 people on your neighborhood anymore.
Hello, welcome everyone to another episode of Brand Builders Podcast. Today, we have Wendy with us. She's not just an entrepreneur, she's a 2-decade-old e-commerce expert, and also she has founded her own business. And not just that, she has also written, 4 children books. So Wendy, how you are feeling today?
Hi, I'm so excited to be here and grateful, and yeah, I can't wait.
Okay, that's great. So Wendy, let's start something with little fun. Why don't you give a little introduction to the audience so they can know a bit about you?
My name is Wendy Jensen, and my business is Scandinavian Hearts. And it kind of started through my experience in e-commerce and my love of retail kind of merged and combined together. And then my Scandinavian heritage was the perfect trifecta for my business. I've been in business about 5 years, and I'm so excited to share my story and so proud of what I've built.
Great. I actually, saw your products beforehand, just a little sneak peek. They look pretty wonderful. I would love to, get all of them. So we'll start with something small. So if you had to describe your journey so far, maybe in just 2 to 3 words, what would that be?
I mean, the first one is gratitude. I'm so grateful to be here, and it's not lost on me that so many people dream big and have these visions and don't see them through to fruition. And so to be here, sharing with you and sharing with your audience, and it's just such an honor, and I'm just feeling so much gratitude that I've been able to build this business, and day after day after day, year after year, it's just built upon itself and grown to where I'm at today. And I'm feeling incredibly grateful. I think another word I would use is unexpected. This wasn't really like a plan. I didn't set out like, oh, I'm gonna be a children's book author and I'm gonna have these hearts and I'm gonna, it evolved naturally, and it feels really genuine and authentic, and it still is super unexpected. I think I love to, figure out what's next and where the industry is going and go with the flow and not necessarily force myself into a corner. So gratitude and unexpected, I think, are my 2 words.
Okay, that's great. So, Wendy, you have a very big experience of working with corporates, behind the scene, working with multiple e-commerce and, coming back to starting your own business, your own entrepreneurial journey. How would you describe it, and what were the lessons that you have carried so far into your journey?
Yeah, I mean, so I was at Expedia for about 10 years, and I've learned so much working for a big corporation, and also just in general, my Expedia experience. One thing is the confidence to try new things. Working for such a big company was super intimidating at times and scary, but it was so fun, giving the freedom and the confidence to try new things. And one of our mottos was fail fast. And there's a lot of risk, like a lot of money, a lot of people, a lot of customers. But the whole idea was, let's do it, let's go, let's fail fast, let's get on the forefront of things, let's innovate, let's learn. And we put ourselves out there all the time, and it was really, really scary. But given that freedom to fail fast really gave me so much confidence to try new things. Because, the worst that can happen is you pivot and you learn and then you readjust. So it's been a huge part of my business of not being timid and scared and, will the customers like this? I don't know. Let's see, let's find out. Let's talk to them. It's been really fun having that confidence to just try new things and put yourself out there and knowing it's okay to fail. Let's just fail fast and then move on. So that's one of the big learnings. Another one for me was just the power of e-commerce. I actually started in retail, so I've been at Costco and Nordstrom's, and before Expedia, I was in the buying offices at Macy's. And this was, not to date myself, but this was over like 30 years ago. And we didn't have e-commerce when I was at Macy's. And we relied on selling stuff in person, and we relied on people coming into the doors and seeing our merchandise. We put together very specific merchandising plans to sell specific products, and we would buy our inventory based on the store and based on the location and the demographic. And the power of e-commerce is just completely mind-blowing, where I have one store and I can access the world. Like, we have this podcast and I can talk to thousands of people at one time in one space, and I don't have to be on the streets holding up a billboard hoping someone drives by and sees my store. So the confidence to try new things and then the power of e-commerce combined just really, really set my career and my trajectory on fire in a really good way.
Yeah, I can see that. And one thing I have to, make a comment of is the energy. Since we started, I cannot ignore it. Even I feel, just a bit more energetic today after talking with you. And
Oh, it's the best compliment ever.
after hearing your thoughts, I personally think that it is always about taking risk and to jump straight ahead without thinking about the failure, because this is how we learn things. And
Yeah.
way you have described the power of e-commerce, do you think like more and more people should try e-commerce in a much better way, or maybe anyone who wanted to start their e-commerce, do you like to give them a word of advice?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think that like the ability and access we have these days is just, it's unlimited. So as I kind of mentioned, I know that everybody has these big dreams and desires within them, and they don't always have the confidence and the tools to try. But our access to things is absolutely unlimited. And like I said, you don't have to stand on the street with a billboard and rely on the 100 people on your neighborhood anymore. Like, you can put yourself out there and you can reach so many people through so many different channels. And now a lot of these channels are even free. So like, it's such a for me, it felt like a low risk and a no-brainer. And I know if you don't have the understanding, it's scary and it's hard and it might not feel like low risk. But I definitely would say, if you have something pulling at your heart, try it, figure it out, fail fast. Like, I mean, you don't have much to lose.
Great word of advice, I must say. Any specific platforms you love to invest your time on for your business?
Yeah, I mean, they totally evolve over time. I love following the trends. I love to see like what's going on. So I have my own website. And then I've been watching like, Etsy grow, and I've seen Etsy kind of like their advertisements. And so I got on Etsy. So now my stuff is on Etsy, and I'm like, okay, this is fun. And I think my core ones are like my website and then Etsy. I use Instagram, of course, but Pinterest has been really fun lately. Another one that like, it's been fun to see it kind of like grow over time. And I love that it seems very genuine, and it's kind of slow paced. And that's kind of like, my business is here for the long term. So I love that like genuine, authentic feel of Pinterest. So Pinterest has been my kind of go-to most recently.
Okay, that's great. And can you just, tell me more about how the Scandinavian Heart things come out and how did you start?
Yeah, of course. So I had my retail background, and then combined with my e-commerce experience, I decided to start consulting for small business owners. And it was so fun, and it was also so humbling. And I could like, my knowledge and expertise could really impact these businesses. And I saw the impact that I had immediately for these small business owners. And I saw the work and effort and passion they had, and I was just like blown away. And I'm like, I could do this. Like, this is something, I'm so inspired by these people I'm working with. So it inspired me to start my own e-commerce store. And as I mentioned before, like starting small, I didn't know where to start. I didn't have any products, but I am really proud of my Scandinavian heritage. And as I grow older, I feel myself getting more and more nostalgic and kind of drawn back to your roots and really wanting to share. And so I also love to be creative. So my first product, I have one here, was actually a sticker.
Oh,
So I designed these little stickers, and the whole idea of my business is Scandinavian Hearts with Scandinavian symbols and designs in them. And so yeah, I started with stickers, which was a really low cost to entry for me. Like built a website, and I live in Ballard, which is a Scandinavian community in Seattle. And so I went and passed out my stickers to the stores, and they loved them and started selling like crazy. And so my products evolved from there.
okay. And can you tell me how do you maintain the overall, your culture, your heritage, along with the product, and why specifically hearts? What is the story behind the hearts?
Yeah, so my grandparents immigrated from Norway and Sweden to Ballard, where I'm currently living, back in the 1930s. And I am now living in Ballard and I'm raising my kids here. And I just remember those such nostalgic feelings of my Scandinavian roots here. And my grandpa had 14 siblings. And so we would have these holiday parties and they were just so big. And I just remember them just so filled with like love and joy and warmth. And it was like bursting from the home, like singing songs, and they all spoke Norwegian. And I wanted to replicate that for my kids, and it felt absolutely impossible. As my family grows older, my grandparents are no longer with us, and we don't have the space to like host these gigantic parties, and I don't speak Norwegian, and so I felt like I was losing something, and I didn't know how to get it back, and I didn't know how to share it with the kids. But I remember, like I said, I kind of like slowed it down, and I went a little introspective, and after college, I had the opportunity to live and work in Denmark. And I remember being in Denmark, and I saw hearts everywhere, everywhere. So hearts, I should have worn my sweater, but like hearts in like the knitting of the sweater, hearts on the manhole covers in the streets, hearts like engraved on the back of the chairs, just like these little design elements. And it was subtle, but like they were everywhere. And it really reminded me of my grandparents' home and my Scandinavian heritage, and these little pieces of artwork that had a little heart, like just hearts and everything. So to me, it became so obvious, like, oh, I can put these traditions and these symbols in a heart, and I can share my story and continue these traditions in like the very smallest yet very meaningful way.
Okay, that's great. Just a curious question. How do the customer connects with this cultural symbol, who are actually not a part of this community or don't know about the community, who are actually outside the community? How do they react to it, or what are their reaction to the product?
Yeah, I mean, that's such a great question because I love like obviously I want to connect with the Scandinavians in my community and like create that nostalgia. But ultimately, like I love sharing my heritage and my traditions. And I find the more that I share my heritage and traditions, the more other people share theirs. And my life just becomes fuller because I can like take and borrow and use what I love. And so sharing like the stories is really important to me. This is an example of a woven heart. So after I designed the stickers, oh, thank you. I ended up getting a laser cutter, a laser printer, and I started making these woven hearts. And woven hearts is a tradition in Denmark. And it's actually, you take a paper and you weave them together and make baskets, so it's a really fun tradition. And everybody loved my hearts and they were buying them, like everybody, not just Scandinavians, that like they love the designs, they love it, but they weren't understanding the stories, which is fine. But part of me was like, I wanted them to love my products, but I also wanted to share the story. So then I started writing children's books. So this is specifically my book about woven hearts, so that I could share the story along with the heart for those that are interested. And it also gave me a platform to share with children. So I could go to the schools and I read these books with the schools. Each of my books has an activity, so I teach kids how to make their own woven hearts because I'm really passionate about sharing these traditions with like other generations.
Oh,
So
it's
it really
actually all
has nothing.
instruction in it.
Yeah, it has all the instructions. It really has nothing to do with really being Scandinavian and more to do with like sharing these amazing stories and traditions that I want everybody to have because I think they're so special.
Okay, that's so good. And so this is how the whole entrepreneur to writer thing shifted to just to share the story and steps how to create the hearts.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like I said, I started making these wood hearts and people loved them. And I'm like, there's more to these wood hearts. I don't want I want my legacy in life to like I want to really leave an impact and have an imprint. And like selling items is good, but like sharing a story and really like making an impact, it just is so fulfilling. I mentioned the dollar horse. So I don't know if I mentioned it, but the dollar horse is on the sticker that I designed. And a dollar horse is a traditional Swedish symbol. So like most recently, this is my new holiday. I designed some dollar horse ribbon.
Oh, this is very pretty. I
So
would love to receive
fun.
a gift packed around this, wrapped with this.
Yeah, and then so I also have my newest book is my dollar horse book, all about dollar horse and the history of the dollar horse. So yes, I have found a way to combine my storytelling with my products. So those that love my products, that's amazing. Those that want to learn more about the story, that's amazing. I do a little bit of both.
Okay. So, you also mentioned previously you have worked with a lot of small businesses. You have consulted them before starting your own journey, right? So, is there anything that you would like to share with all the new business owners on who are just starting with e-commerce? What would be the word of advice that you would like to give them?
Yeah, I think one like really eye-opening for me with the transition was not being too transactional. So I was so focused on transactions when I started my business. It's a function of being in the corporate world. When I was at Expedia, my numbers, my goals were huge, and the ability to achieve those goals and with big teams and big budgets was huge. And so you get this like transactional mindset, and you're like, oh, I'm going to start my business and I'm going to sell thousands of hearts. And they always say like if you build it they will come, and that's not necessarily true. I love that if it is for some people, but it isn't. And I think it really is about like sharing your story and making an impact, and the transactions will come over time, but you have to really like share it and show it and create your why and put yourself out there, and not focus on the transactions, but really focus on the people and the relationships and the conversations. And it's kind of silly. They always say like it just takes one, but it really does. And the one builds, and the two multiplies, and the four becomes 400. And it really just is that build of building those relationships and sharing the story in a really genuine way.
Yeah, that's a great word of advice because most of the people's I see personally is always started and always think about how much money they can make out of it instantly while
Right.
starting the business. Instead, they should
Right.
follow the things like how they can serve better their customers, what problems they can solve, what is the reason they are
Mm-hmm.
even doing the business. You
A
also
100%.
Yeah, you also previously mentioned about, finding your stories. Do you think the stories that you have written for children's that helps your product to get more visibility somehow?
Absolutely. I mean, I think I just love, like I said, this e-commerce world that we live in. Both my parents started and retired at the exact same job, the same job. And nowadays, I feel like it's kind of like building your life's resume. Like you can do all the things. So I had an e-commerce store and I'm selling e-commerce stuff, and I'm like, I saw this opportunity to write children's books, and I have my books on Amazon, and it's so fun being part of this like authors club and having a book and like being on Amazon. And then, it's so complimentary, and it's just part of this like build of my own personal life resume as well as my business, and it all compounds. And so, yeah, I think, if you're an entrepreneur and opportunities or ideas come at you from all different ways, if they align with your values, like definitely look into them, even if it feels like it's not like it's new or scary, like it can be complementary and it can compound your business in a different way that maybe you didn't foresee for yourself.
Okay, that's great. So, do you also advise business owners to focus on building a story around their product to gain more visibility, or maybe do you think stories in general help any business to, get the product more maybe emotionally available or get the product more emotionally connect with the audience?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I just mentioned the transaction thing, and we have become so transactional. And just me and my personal life, I'm like, okay, the kids need, new shoes, and we're gonna need, we need more paper towels, and we need this, and you just like kind of on autopilot, and you get what you need to get, and it's all available to you almost instantaneously, and it's so easy. So to break into that world of transaction, you really need to have a meaningful story and a thoughtful idea or a thoughtful solution. My products are really tied to my heritage and they have that story, but maybe it's not even a story that's personal. Maybe it's more like you said, like a solution. Maybe it's solving a problem, but you really connect with your customers through that story and that solution. But I think that's where the opportunity with small business owners and e-commerce really can explode, is when somebody's differentiating themselves through their story. I have so many competitors, and people could compete with me on a scale that like I could never imagine, but they could never be me, and I am me, and I am like the heart and the story and the genuine authenticness behind the business. And I think that that's what, if more people did that, like those are the people that I love to buy from personally. And it makes a big difference in my life when I have those special things.
Definitely, it was the most cutest and one of the most strongest statement that we ever heard in Brand Builders podcast.
Thank you. That's very sweet.
So Wendy, just a little, heart to heart question from our audience to you. It's been 20 plus years you are into the e-commerce industry, right? So how do you see the future of, small businesses who are, starting from their home, from their basements with small creative works that they are creating, wanted to showcase or give it to the world? How do you tell them to take this thing forward and bringing it to the digital world? What would be your suggestion, or how do you suggest them to go ahead?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I would say just do it. It's so easy to get caught in your mind and your head and like, okay, next month, or when I have this, or when I this, and then 20 years passes and you don't do the thing. So definitely just do it, get started, start with nothing and build from there. I think the future of e-commerce, I think there's this whole level of transaction, like things that I talked about, like toilet paper and, sheets or whatever it is. But I also think there's another layer of meaningful, thoughtful items and gifts and things that you want in your home that are special. And I think that people will gravitate towards brands that are fulfilling an emotional connection as well, and brands that they wanted to be associated to based on something that creates some nostalgia or fulfills a need. So I would say if you're a small business owner, start the thing, do it, start where you are, and then create the story and create the connection behind why you're doing it. I think the third thing too really is to redefine your measures of success, because selling 1,000 units the first month might not set you up for success, and having like a failure mindset will never set you up for success. So maybe success is creating 3 new products and being proud of the work that you're going to put out, or connecting with 10 new people, but really like redefining that and then feeling proud and then growing on it. It really just starts to build over time.
Okay, that's a great word of advice. I think people just do it at times to see what is the meaning of success, because success doesn't mean any one thing. Success can be anything. It can be different from me, it can be different from you, it can be different from even you. So
100,
it depends. Like define yourself.
100%. I started my business, and my main goal was to have a lifestyle where I could take afternoon walks with my dogs.
Oh
And
my.
it sounds so silly, but like I was so hustle that like the notion of being able to like turn off my computer in the middle of the afternoon just blew my mind and like go and take a leisure walk with the dogs. And now like to be able to leave and go take a walk and the business is running and nothing's failing. And I mean, it's just the most fulfilling thing ever.
That's great. That's great. So, Wendy, anyone who wants to buy your product for the very first time, what product would you recommend anyone who are buying for the very first time?
Oh, I love that question. Okay, so my hanging hearts are kind of what I'm most famous for, but I got really sad when people are taking them down during the holidays because I want them up all year round, like in the windows and whatever. So I designed this freestanding heart, which I just love. So this freestanding heart isn't necessarily just for Christmas. It's something that you can put on the fireplace mantle or the windowsill or your nightstand. And it's just like such a little symbol of love. And I just love it so much. So this definitely, I would say like get yourself a wood heart, put it on your mantle, and it's great for gift giving. And just, I don't know, it's so much nostalgia and joy and love just to see it there in the corner of your eye. And yeah.
Yeah, it's a very good thing. I would love to get a hand on those. You're
Oh, I'll have to send you one.
soon. And Wendy, the viewers who are watching us currently, what would be the best place to connect with you? And what would be the best place to find your products?
Yeah, so like I said, I'm on Instagram, so come connect with me there. My website is Scandinavian Hearts, and my books are on Amazon, Scandinavian Hearts, and I have a Pinterest and an Etsy store. So come find me in all the places. Come to my website and sign up for my email. That would be fun too.
Yeah, you heard it, guys. Just go and stay connected with us. So Wendy, it's been a wonderful story that you tell us that the journey, the ups and downs, how the shift from a corporate hustle to a successful, or being a successful entrepreneur and living the, redefining the success and living the success that you want. And our listeners has already know where to find you. Everyone, just go visit a store and place your order right away. I can assure you will love it. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, let's see.
Thank you, Wendy, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Any last word that you'd like to tell the audience?
No, I would say go do the thing, fail fast.
Yeah, that's a great advice. Thank you, everyone, for watching today's episode of Brand Builders Podcast. And if you like this video, drop a like, drop a comment, and don't forget to visit Wendy's store. And see you again on the next podcast. Bye-bye.